We're going to call to order the Effingham County Board of Commissioners this April 18th, 2023 at 5 p.m. Have a roll call. Mr. Floyd?
Here.
Mr. Corbett's here. Mr. Deloach?
Here.
Mr. Loper?
Here.
And we'll note, has Mr. Burdette on?
Here.
All right. Welcome, Mr. Burdette.
Thank you.
Good to hear your voice.
I've got audio, but I lost video.
Well, you don't want to see us anyway. You just want to hear us. Because you might turn the reverse video on and you're laying in bed.
Probably so. Definitely so.
I do like the sound system. This is a lot clearer than what we had. Remember we had those things before in the old sound system?
Yeah, this is way better.
Way better.
Well, they can turn back on the video. I can see you guys.
Well, maybe they'll get the video turned back on for you in a minute. But we're so glad to have you on the call tonight, Roger. It's good to know you're doing well. And,
Thank you. Glad to be here.
With that, we're going to have the invocation that'll be given by Commissioner Deloach, and he'll also lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you remain standing after that, so all rise for the invocation. You can stay seated, Roger.
Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you for our many blessings. Please help remind us that our many blessings come through you, Lord. Please be with our group that's over in Korea this week, Lord. Please keep them safe while they're over there, and please help them have safe travels on the way back. And also, just like to ask you to please help continue to heal Commissioner Burdette's body and help him recover from his accident and help him get back with us very soon.
Yes.
And dear Lord, just please be with us this evening, and please help us to do your will through this meeting. And in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our attorney had to step out and take care of some business for us, and he'll be back.
Okay, I got a couple items I want to move to the front then before he gets back.
Okay. Sound like a plan. We have an agenda before us. Are there any corrections or additions to tonight's agenda?
No, sir.
All right, I like it that way. So you have agenda, do I have a motion to approve as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second Mr. Loper to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing none, it passes unanimously. The minutes you have before you, have you read those? And if you have, are there any corrections or additions to those minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to
present for
approve the
that.
minutes? Roger, did I hear you?
Yes, sir. I was not present for that meeting.
All right, so Roger will abstain from this vote. We'll note that. But is there a motion to approve these minutes as presented?
So moved.
I heard Mr. Floyd down here. I'll take Mr. Loper as a second, if that's okay. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Then our minutes from April.
I'll make a
4th.
note. I wasn't here, but just make sure we can get it approved. I just didn't want to make the motion,
Gotcha.
so I'll just.
And state law allows for you all to, whether you're present or not,
Okay,
you can approve minutes. You're only approving the outline.
I
and-
got you.
Yeah,
But with Mr. Deloach, we have a quorum on approving it, so that's good.
And normally I would just go ahead and abstain like Commissioner Burdette did, but just due to our number,
Yep,
Phil
I
not being
appreciate
here, just I'll vote on it.
sounds good. All right, well, welcome to our public, those who are here tonight for business that we have. Items that you want to address should be agenda items tonight. If you want something on the agenda, get with our clerk or myself or our manager, and we'll look to put that on a future agenda. If you make a comment, we'd like your remarks to be 2 to 3 minutes to give others opportunities, time to speak to an item as well. Always come to the microphone first and state your full name before you begin speaking, and that'll help us because we're recording this, and it helps the clerk take the minutes. The documents for this meeting are located in the clerk's office and on the Board of Commissioners website, so you've had opportunity hopefully to review those. The next item on our agenda, number 9, is our consent agenda. There are 5 items, and I'm required to read these 5 items, and then we'll receive a motion on all 5 items at one time. Item number 1, consideration to approve amendment number 1 of the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia, ACCG Adoption Agreement. Item number 2, consideration to approve year 3 of the agreement with Pictometry International Corp. For the Tax Assessor's Office. Item 3, consideration to approve to renew the lease agreement for the radio communication tower with State Properties Commission, Georgia Forestry Commission. Item 4, consideration to renew the Georgia Probation Case Management System Agreement between Effingham County Probation Department and the Judicial Alternatives of Georgia Incorporated. That's JAG. Item number 5 under the consent agenda is a grant award, consideration to approve to accept a grant award from Petco Love Animal Welfare Grant Program. That's our consent agenda. We have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve is read.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Loper, second by Mr. Deloach to approve the consent agenda is read. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Item number 10, this is under unfinished business. Item 1 from the last meeting, consideration to approve the second reading to amend Part 2, Chapter 34, Flood Damage Prevention, Section 34.5, definitions, Section 34.7, basis for area of special flood hazards, Section 34.82, specific standards, and Section 34.86, standards for subdivisions. We had the first reading on 4/4/23. Do you have a motion to approve the second reading?
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Loper to approve the second reading. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, no. Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Item number 2 under unfinished business, consideration to approve the second reading of an application by TK Electric LLC to rezone 6.2 acres located at 763 US Highway 80 from AR1 to B3 to allow for the commercial development map number 302, parcel number 105 in the first district. This was, it says postponed. Yeah, that's right, because we had added a condition. So we added additional condition to the conditions that are already there. So is there a motion to approve the second reading with the conditions that were added?
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Floyd, second by Mr. Deloach to approve the second reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed, no. Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Item number 3, the planning board recommends denying an application by TK LLC for a sketch plan for TK Electric LLC located 763 US Highway 80, Zone AR1, proposed B3, map number 302, parcel number 105 in the first district. And I believe we approved, but add some conditions. You know, it
We
says,
approved it, but I noticed here in we approved the second sketch,
I don't have my,
I believe is what we were good with. The first we weren't.
You didn't hear the sketch plan because of the added stipulation on the second reading. So you couldn't technically, hear the sketch plan because the rezoning wasn't officially approved.
okay.
Okay.
Because I thought we added some things to the sketch plan that we just added some things we wanted.
You added things to your zoning map amendment, the rezoning.
I need a mouse. Anybody got a mouse? I can't flip. I thought this was, my home's a finger touch. And this one's not, so I can't scroll it. You got one?
I think Chris is going to do one.
I think I'll need to buy the commissioners a finger touch screen. Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking I read that there was an additional condition put on that already, that you couldn't come out, on the sketch plan could not come out on, but maybe I'm confusing it with the zoning.
Well, they wanted an entrance off of Dogwood Way, and we
Did away with
we
that.
did away with that, and they resubmitted the sketch plan with the entrance off strictly to Highway
That's what
80.
they resubmitted the sketch plan.
Right.
That's right. That's why I saw that. Okay, I thought I saw something on that. So we need to have staff present to us the sketch plan tonight then for our review?
Did we look at it before, the newest one?
I think we had it at our last meeting, but it had just been submitted. I'm trying to think that in
Yeah, I
your
think we're giving y'all
packet.
time to look at it, to see if there was anything.
Yeah, I think we had it that night. But you all postponed the consideration of the sketch plan just so the rezoning could go through. And we did add a condition saying that no access to dogwood was permitted. So that is what you just approved right now. So that the rezoning is set. Originally, they'd submitted this sketch plan that's up on the screen there, and it shows kind of the parcel is split by wetlands, and so there's the one portion of the development accessing Highway 80, and then up here in the back, this was the original proposal was to access Dogwood Way, and that planning board recommended denial. There was a great deal of opposition. People were very concerned about trucks coming onto Dogwood Way. So after the planning board meeting, the engineer met with the owner and then submitted a revision, and I think that came in just before your meeting, on April 4th.
But we have it in our packet now, right?
And so this is the revision, which is where instead of what they were trying to do is avoid wetlands, now they're going to do a small incursion into the wetlands to bring a road all the way, a driveway, an internal driveway, all the way from Highway 80 to the two buildings in the back, the two shops in the back. So it was a compromise, and it was actually what we'd kind of told them originally would have been a better idea, but they needed to be pushed a little bit. Once they got that denial vote from the planning board, it showed them that we were serious about protecting Dogwood Way. So I think it all kind of worked out in the end. We got a development that it's B3. These are two, shops, at least 12,000 square feet each. It's not clear exactly how large they are. And there will be an internal road, and then the front portion is proposed to be a restaurant at a future date.
You said 12,000 square feet each?
Yeah, that was the original proposal. When they came back with they were originally going to be about 12,000 square foot each. And when they came back with the revision, they pushed them together and did that road around. And it looks to me, it's a 150 by 65 by the looks of that. So you can add that up real quick. Actually, they're smaller.
Yeah,
Sure.
because 10,000 square feet.
They're under 10, yeah, they're under 10,000. So we got really,
10,000 total.
yeah,
right?
20,000 total. So this is what we were talking about earlier in the workshop, this kind of thing.
Both of them together is 10,000. I think so. I don't remember talking about 20,000 square foot building. That'd be huge. Next to the neighbors. Okay.
So given the revision, staff are recommending approval, and the planning board had indicated if this was the kind of plan that had come forward, they would have been, that it was just the Dogwood Way entrance. That was their only objection to it.
All right. Is there any discussion from the board? Questions?
I spoke to my planning board appointee, and that was the hang-up, the Dogwood Way. So with the entrance strictly off of Highway 80, and with this new sketch plan, I'll make a motion we approve the sketch plan.
Got a motion by Mr. Floyd, second by Mr. Loper to approve the sketch plan as presented. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. Hearing none, sketch plan is approved.
Are there any stipulations along with this approval?
The biggest hang-up was just Highway 80,
Okay.
and that's shown on the
Well,
sketch plan.
there were stipulations in the alternative one, so I'm gonna ask you to amend the motion to include alternative one.
Make a motion that we,
You say I'll
Approve
include
alternative.
alternative one in my motion.
Yeah.
All right, you include alternative one in your motion. Your second includes alternative one?
Yes.
So the motion is to approve the sketch plans with alternative one, and everybody has voted aye.
oh yeah,
Say
it's
aye.
got the time, or like the hours, okay.
Noes? Hearing none, it's approved with alternative one. I'll make a note.
Thank you.
And that was what confused me when I read that. I thought maybe we'd already discussed it because I saw the no access. But I
forgot
remember
about
the
the time.
discussion now. They were showing the old, and they just got a new one. We had not reviewed it yet at staff level. All right, new business. Item number 1, consideration to approve to renew ESRI Small Government Enterprise Agreement annual subscription for a total of 3 years.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Allison Bruton, purchasing agent. So for the past 15 years, the county's actually had an enterprise agreement in place with Esri for their GIS software. The current cost for this agreement is $56,700 per year. It will start with fiscal year 2024. This renewal allows for an unlimited number of licenses and updates for each piece of GIS software available, and they're requesting approval, which is alternative 1,
When does fiscal year 24 begin?
July 1,
July 1 of what?
2023.
2023. Okay, I was
This
wondering
year.
why we're approving it now.
Yes.
It's fiscal year 24.
Yes,
Okay.
it starts July 1. They're just trying to get a jump start and make sure it's included in the budget preparations as well.
Okay.
We'll make a motion for alternative 1.
That's fine. I just want to make a point. I couldn't find any dates in that thing at all.
Okay,
So maybe I'm just not seeing something, so I want to make sure those dates are,
I can double check. I was asked to present for Pamela since they're out of town for a conference,
yeah.
but I'll go back through and make sure too.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get the full, because the ones goes fiscal year 2023. Okay, so, all right. So the motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Loper. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed, no. Hearing none, it passes unanimously. All right, item number 2, consideration to approve to renew a proposal from Spatial Engineering Incorporated for Right Spot GIS.
Yes, sir. So the Right Spot app allows for maintenance of Effingham County's utility infrastructure data and provides other GIS-related support services as needed. This contract would cover Effingham County's data hosting and Right Spot access for this year and project work up to the budgeted amount. So the total for this is $6,000 plus any project work up to $50,000 for a total of $56,000.
So
the
basically what we're
upcoming
doing,
year.
we're just giving management the authority to go up to $56,000
I believe so, yes, sir.
for work that they need.
Mhm.
I would like for you and management to keep us abreast of when we are gonna improve and increase the work, even though
Okay,
we're authorizing up to that if they vote for that tonight. Just kinda wanna understand what they're doing and what's coming next, and why are we gonna pay them more than $6,000? The project requires it. We just need to be on top of that if we could. and
Yes, sir.
Be informed. And mostly it's just informed. It doesn't have to be a agenda item.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, discussion, or motion for alternative 1?
Make a motion to approve alt number 1.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Loper, second Mr. Floyd for alternative 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Roger, if I don't hear a no, I'm assuming you're always a yes. Are you
Yes, sir,
there?
I'm responding. I don't know if you can hear me.
I think I'm talking so fast, I'm talking over you.
It may be, but I would say something out if it's a no, but everything looks good so far.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Item number 3, consideration to approve a software service agreement between Effingham County Tax Assessor's Office and Taxes Exempt Projects Incorporated True Roll.
Yes, sir. So the tax assessor's office is requesting approval of this program, which will search databases in every state to see if anyone has filed a homestead exemption in other taxing jurisdictions. Right now, they're limited to only Effingham County. The chief appraiser did receive 3 proposals for this program, which are listed on your staff report, and they are requesting alternative 1.
I got a couple of questions, and Pamela, you might have to answer this, or tax assessor. I see him out there, and you were hiding behind the head there. Do we have information from other counties that, what this did for them? Because I'm looking at, for our own millage, we'd have to find 363 violators. Now, for countywide millage, it'd be only 132 to break even. But I'm just wondering, are there that many violators? Do you have some statistics that tell me if we invest $30,000, we'll get back 100,000? Or,
Yeah, so this one, True Rolls, $10,900. So kind of give you a little bit of history about Effingham and homestead exemption. So statistic-wise, in 2021, we had over 3,000 homestead applications. That was just in 1 year. We have currently almost 14,000 homestead exemptions in Effingham County, and there are just roughly over 31,000 parcels. So that's almost 50% of the parcels in this county have a homestead exemption. But the thing that makes Effingham a little bit different than most counties is we have something called Carter Burns, which is a huge exemption. I'll let Jennifer talk.
we all understand Carter Burns exemption,
Okay,
because
okay.
it hurt us really bad when the market went down.
Yes,
So we
and
know-
so
yeah.
as the market is increasing, these exemptions are increasing. And, yeah, we, obviously, if, we get a return address or, someone passes away, we get that information from, probate. But what we don't get is things like,
They move.
if they move, marriage license,
I hadn't thought about the Carter Burns. I was thinking about just the 10,000. I want to think about that big jump you could get when you get to the actual market versus that 3% cap.
Yes.
yes.
Okay, that would change my calculation, because I was thinking if we gotta have 363 violators, I'm not sure
Yeah,
we have that
so,
many.
I mean, technically speaking,
You could get
we
like 4 or
could,
5.
yeah, I was about to say 4 or 5 homestead removals, and it'll pay for this.
Yeah,
have
particularly if it's a Carter Burns
Because right
house.
now, we have some with Carter Burns, they're saving $1,500 to $2,000 a year in local homestead exemptions.
Well, I didn't think about Carter Burns. That changed my whole perspective on it.
Yeah.
I was just looking at, do we have 363 people who could, so I guess what happens is if I move away and I decide to keep my house and rent it, if I don't tell anybody,
Yes,
don't
it
know.
stays on homestead.
that's right. And as long as it goes, the mail is going to that address, we will never know.
But this company has got a
Yes.
cooperative state effort.
That's
Okay.
correct. It
All right,
is,
I understand it better now. I don't
Yep,
want to
yep.
belabor it. I was just looking at how many it would take to break even. So that helps. Thank you so much.
yes.
If there's no other questions, I entertain a motion to approve alternative one.
I'll make a motion to approve alternative one.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Floyd to approve alternative one. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Item number 4 under new business, consideration to approve a professional service agreement with Schneider Geospatial LLC for a QPublic.net add-on for the tax assessor's office.
Yes, sir. So the chief appraiser is also requesting approval of this proposal, which will allow for all personal property forms to be online and allow for the online submittal of returns and appeals. There is a one-time setup cost of $5,880 and an annual hosting total of $4,248. And they have requested this in the fiscal year 24 budget as well. Staff recommends alternative one.
So what's your
Mayor.
projected time and dollar savings? I know you had to look at that to make the recommendation, just roughly.
Yeah, by law, we're still gonna have to mail these out. But this is more or less a convenience factor for the citizens of Effingham County. Currently, our policy is, just because we can't 100% know we're gonna get it unless it comes via USPS or FedEx or in person. So this is gonna allow people to, have a secure way to submit things online.
And appeal online as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Okay. Would it save your office a good bit of time with staffing?
Oh, yes, yes,
So we can expect a budget cut on personnel?
that's right.
I'm teasing. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Any questions? Motion for alternative one?
Make a motion to approve order number 1.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Loper, second by Mr. Deloach for alternative one. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no nos, it passes unanimously. Item number 5 in new business, consideration to approve contract 23 ITB-023 with Legacy Water Group LLC for the Blue Jay Road Water Line Extension Loop B.
Yes, sir. So in January, we did post an ITB for the construction of Loop B. Hussey Gay and Bell is the engineer listed on the project. We did only receive 2 bids for this, one Legacy Water Group LLC and the second being United Grading. That pricing is in your staff report. These submittals were reviewed by Hussey Gay and Bell, and they do recommend award to Legacy Water Group. So staff recommends alternative one.
Make a motion to approve order number 1.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Loper, second by Mr. Deloach for alternative one. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Item number 6, consideration to approve change order number 1 to Pond and Company for Baker Park Improvements, task order 23-REQ-002.
Yes, sir. So the task order was issued to Pond to design and engineer the upgrades needed for Baker Park and to provide bidding and construction management. Change order 1 includes 2 additional services, one being additional surveying along Courthouse Road to 21 regarding public utilities to the park. And the second is the restroom and concession building design services beyond the original scope. Staff recommends alternative 1.
They didn't know all this, they didn't know, y'all didn't have that in there when they signed the agreement?
I think there were some changes when it came to the Courthouse Road realignment as well, and some of those, some of that needed to be adjusted. And then as far as water service to the park or something like that.
We do a lot of these change orders. Sometimes we do 3 of them. I mean,
Yes, sir.
if y'all bid it out right before it goes out, you need to tell them, say, look here, we got a bid for whatever this money is, and that's all we're gonna pay you.
Mhm.
If you can't do it for that, we'll hire somebody to tell you what you got to do. We're not paying you any more money, so they'd stop some of this.
Mhm.
And the biggest thing is on, fire stations. Every fire station we build, we get 2 or 3, different orders on it as they build it.
Yes, sir.
One of them we changed, and what was that on? That we completely changed, they just walked away and. we had to buy
The
it.
Hodgeville,
We got
yes, sir.
somebody else
The
to do it.
Hodgeville. Mhm.
But I don't see why we have to have all these, change orders. They need to bid on whatever we put out, if they want it. If they don't, they can turn it down.
Understood. Sometimes there's information that we don't know ourselves when we bid things out too, and it's not until somebody with more knowledge and expertise in the area gets their hands in it that some of that stuff is known. But I completely understand. I get tired of presenting them.
I think
Hey,
too,
some of these roundabouts, we've had up to 3 change orders on some of these roundabouts we've built.
Well, I apologize in advance for the next meeting because we have several change orders on that one too.
Well, I think they ought to bid on whatever we tell them, and that's
Understood.
what it needs to go. I mean, these change orders, they bid it low, and then, I say, evidently, they bid it low, and then as time goes on, they find something else, and they get a change order to get more money out of us.
yeah, sometimes that is the case, and this one concerns me a little bit here because it's so, percentage-wise, it's so large.
We do have a bunch of them.
Yeah, and with the roundabouts and roads, lots of times though, they're bidding on the same square footage, but something changes in the length, size, or width, and we hold them to their per-foot bid, which keeps them in line with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But this one concerns me because it's about a 50% increase. And I'm wondering, at what point do we need to just rebid sometimes? I mean, when a contract goes up 50%,
They
and to-
didn't know they had to survey that on 21, or they didn't know the bathrooms had to be fixed, or what?
well, no, the additional survey might be doing with the realignment we're doing on Courthouse Road. We had scheduled for Courthouse Road to come through a different place, and then we
Yeah, I
realized there's a
understand that.
subdivision built there. We're having to move it and do some things. I think that's why they had to do we had a survey, got to do another survey, because
So.
we realigned. So it's not their fault on this one.
I
I'm
think
just saying
that was a part of it, and
But
then
still, people will use that, oh, I need another survey?
right.
It would have been 20,000, now it's gonna be 32,000, you know,
Yeah,
because it's a change order. And I'm wondering, at what point do we need to say, all right, you can back out because we're changing it on you, but we're gonna rebid it. Do you wanna rebid it? Do you wanna give us a better price? I mean, I don't know,
I don't think that rebidding it would, in this particular case, would be fiscally responsible just for this particular project, because they have already done so much for the design of the overall project. And like I said, there were some curveballs thrown with that realignment change. And then I believe the conversations with the
This is just
utilities
the
were after
design?
the
This is
fact.
not construction too?
Correct. This is just the design.
wow.
Yeah. If you want, we can absolutely hold off on this and discuss more with Pond, just to get more of a breakdown of what those fees,
I don't know what the
For
answer
four.
is, but $55,000 on a change order for additional survey, and designing restroom and concession building? What do we do there to Reggie's point, what do we do there that's so different, that's costing a whole lot more in design?
Alta survey doesn't cost near that much.
well, the restroom and concession, I think, was that just conversations that came up after their first?
Was it not in the
First-
original plan at all?
It was in there to redo the bathrooms and, upgrade the pavilion or that's there now. But getting in there, you can't redo those bathrooms. It has to be destroyed and redone. So we've got to put in new bathrooms. There's no fixing what's there.
I'm telling you,
We can table it
$55,000
and get-
for a survey and redesigning bathrooms in the concession?
Yeah, I don't know. I would say we table it till Tim gets back and see if there's something we're missing.
Yeah, something's, you could design a pretty good storage building for 55,000.
Or I'll make a motion to table item number 6 to our next meeting.
Yeah, thank you. Motion by Mr. Deloach, second Mr. Loper to table to our next meeting of,
May 2nd.
And maybe get some more information, you know, what,
I'll ask for a more thorough breakdown from Pond as well. They're usually pretty receptive with that, so.
maybe Reggie can call him.
we might,
I'll talk to him.
yeah,
I know.
well, heck, fire, I mean,
I mean,
you could design you could get somebody to design the, bathrooms after they do whatever else they're gonna do. Just, or take your design out right now, what are you gonna do? And we could get somebody else to survey what they need to be surveyed and bid that out. I mean, it's, check, see what you
I
can do.
think it's just more extensive than just a basic design, because the last meeting we had, if I recall, and Angela, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the overall redesign of the park, the concession building was actually moving. I think it was moving some, and then there was conversations about, the well that's out there, so the utilities having to move. It's been, I haven't been involved in all of the
Well,
conversations.
give us the
but-
detail, cause you
Yeah.
can see that's a pretty,
What they're gonna do, we're gonna keep the whale, but we've got to move the building. So where the building sits now at Baker Pond, it's gonna come over more towards the park and sit over here.
you can't move that building. You're talking about tearing it down and building another one.
Yes, that's what they're
Yeah.
gonna have to do, tear that down, build another one, but the well's gonna stay for irrigation purposes, but then we're
I get it.
tying into
I get it,
water.
but this is just design. This is not,
It's the,
you should be able to build that.
Not building.
You should
This
be able
is
to
just-
build that building for $55,000. I mean,
I agree.
well,
So-
and that contract is for the design and the construction management, so it's putting together the bid documents as well to be bid out for construction, which may be why it's a little higher. And we also do the not to exceed totals too.
yeah.
Um,
Get some more detail.
will,
That's the
absolutely.
tabling point that we want to see. That's just a lot.
We just have a bunch of these change orders.
I
over the
completely
years.
agree. Like I said, I apologize in advance for the next meeting.
All right.
So I said, I'm gonna ask her about this one.
All right, item number 6 has been tabled. So
All right,
we'll
thank you.
move to reports from commissioners and administrative staff. Tim is in Korea, so he won't be reporting tonight, but do we have anything from our
He'll
clerk?
be reporting on Korea when he's back.
Yeah.
You have your information there for the conference next week. ACCG begins at 7:30 a.m. on Thursday morning. Your EOM monthly report for March was emailed to you,
What you talking about?
and you've probably gotten via email some invitations for various events that's occurring during the conference. Just keep an eye out for those.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
I'll open this later. Anything else around the horn?
I just want to bring this up in a public meeting. Chris can address this. We've had some problems with the phone service. Mr. Maynard has talked to me and Chris extensively, but supposedly people can call in with their cell phones, but if they want to reach any of the 7549 or 754 exchanges, they're having trouble with landlines. And it seems that it's a Windstream issue. And he's concerned that there's a safety aspect to it because a lot of older people don't have cell phones. He was actually having problems with his and calling me repeatedly because he got a new iPhone. But anyway, I don't know what we're at and what we're going to do to fix it.
Yes, sir. That, Chris Reed, IT Director, that the issue we had last week with the lines going down, Windstream had a major component, piece of equipment that failed between Rankin and Springfield. That caused all of our lines to go down for several hours, one day last week and then repeated a couple of days afterwards. The issue Mr. Maynard was experiencing was calling in over the weekend, and it was the tie lines between Windstream and other service providers such as Planners and AT&T. We've had this issue several times in the past where Windstream's tie lines drop out and we can't call
Are we in a
cell
long-term
phones.
contract with them? I mean, who else? Is there
We-
other providers that can provide this?
We are not under contract with Windstream.
the board did approve a contract with planners to move phone service to them. We're testing the connectivity between us and planners for the phone service piece now. Once we get through with the testing, with them, we're gonna start transitioning over phone service to planners. Migrate all of our numbers and everything over.
Very good.
That's it.
I filled out my personal financial disclosure today, turning in the Board of Elections. So just reminder, I think that's due by July 1st, to do that. And in talking with Laura, there, I know Tim's on it, but we need to follow up with him when he gets back from Korea. Because at our joint meeting on T-Splost with the cities, we discussed in that meeting that there is a way to where we can do the November election to where people don't have to go to two places to vote. They can go to one place. We can have the T-Splost on all the ballots. But it's something that we've got to let Board of Elections know. I think Tim is on it, from what Laura said, but we definitely just need to follow up on that because that's obviously extremely important.
Yep.
So that's all I
Sounds good.
got.
Yeah, I'll follow up with Tim on that as well. He and I talked about that as well, so that's good.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Okay. Anything from any of our staff? All right, I believe that concludes, except for executive session. We need a executive session night to discuss property, personnel, and pending litigation. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss property, personnel, or pending litigation.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Loper to go in executive session. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Hearing none, we are going into executive session. Can we phone Roger in once we get in there to executive session? So Roger, if you want to be a part of that, we'll phone you in. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Sounds
We'll
good.
phone you in just a minute.
I'll make a motion to go back in regular session.
Second.
I'm looking for my pen.
You need one?
No, I just need to be able to note who does these motions and all.
I got an extra one.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Deloach to go back into regular session. And we had a second by Mr. Loper, is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed, no. We're back in regular session. Let's go ahead and handle the executive session minutes for April 4th. Is there a motion to approve the executive session minutes for April 4th?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Mr. Loper,
Second.
second by Mr. Floyd. Can anybody vote on this? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Executive session minutes are approved. We have some business out of executive session we need to approve. I'd like someone to make a motion, please, to consider to approve for the chairman to sign a contract to purchase land from IB Holdings Limited Partnership. This will be 19.25 acres more or less in the amount of $55,000 per acre for future wastewater facility structures.
And this item will be added as new business number 7.
He wanted you to. he
And
wanted
this
you
will
to
be
put the
new
total
business.
on there too,
New
didn't he?
business number
This will
7.
be new business number 7. Do we need to make that as a different emotion to,
We need to do an addition to the agenda, a motion for the addition to the agenda, and then you need a motion.
so we
on
need two
the-
motions?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we need a motion to add that item I just said to the agenda. That
So moved.
Second.
So the agenda's been amended by a motion by Mr. Loach, second Mr. Floyd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing no noes, it is approved. So the item number 7, business, is a consideration to approve the chairman to sign a contract, purchase contract with IHB Holdings Limited Partnership for 19.25 acres more or less in the amount of $55,000 per acre for a future wastewater facility structure.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Floyd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing none, it passes unanimously. And then that should conclude our business. Is there any other business, or have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second Mr. Floyd to adjourn this meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Hearing none, we are adjourned.
Thank you, Commissioner Burdette.
Thank you, Miss Stephanie. Thank you all for your prayers. I really appreciate it. It's been a really tough time.
Did you know Roger went to the gym today?
Oh, my
I
gosh.
did.
Wow,
Jim?
Went to the gym today.
wow.
Yeah, for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's about all I
Said he went in on a walker.
Out on a bed.
Buddy, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for taking the
Love you
energy and
guys.
the time. And if there's anything tonight, business we transacted that you need to follow up with me on, just give me a buzz on my way home.
Thursday?
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, buddy.
You guys have a good night.
Good night.
Night.